Greetings from home, dear ones. We'd like to take you back to the beginning of time as you know it, the grand experiment where the infinite became finite. Certain elements were needed for this experiment to work, and one is a constant reminder to let the spirit within prevail. It is often called the guiding light. It was such an important part, that when the experiment of becoming finite began, it was tied to light. By that we mean that light is the ever-present part of your game. In your world you cannot live without light. If you stop and think about it, all the food that sustains you has been collecting light all of its life. And that light turns into a beautiful energy, which nourishes your physical body and allows your spirit to pretend to be finite. You have been collecting light all of your life as well. The flow of light between all living things is a constant throughout the universe. Light and love is the same thing from our perspective. In the same way that light grows your food, nourishes your body, and allows the game to unfold, so does love. Like all energies, love must circulate to exist. The greatest love is unconditional, that which is given and received without any conditions. Dear ones, do not let the shadows fool you, for they are only opportunities for light. And you placed yourself on planet Earth at incredible times of change. In the same way that sunlight nourishes everything and supports your game, so does love. We know some of you are exhausted from constantly shining light into the darkness. But you are making more of a difference than you may ever know. This brings us back to the question that we have asked you many times: how much love can you carry? In these times of change we ask you to connect with each other for strength and understanding. None of you carry all the answers, and yet when you hold hands you have access to all of it. In your journey through the illusion of time on Earth, we have asked you to walk tall and proud. You are the light and the love of this great experiment called planet Earth and humanity. We are a simple collective of spirits and have focused love through our host, the keeper of light. Bring it out in each other and you will create home right where you are, even during the greatest changes. We have some changes in the way that we will be presenting. But first let us speak a little about you, because so much is taking place on your planet. So many things are happening that sometimes it's rather difficult to make sense of what you are experiencing. What we're going to tell you to do, dear ones, is to step back and take a broader look. You can program yourself and develop new habits for the path ahead. Yes, new habits take 21 days to work their way into your body suit. But there's a lot you can do during that time. The first thing is to catch yourself when you have a negative thought or thought pattern, so you can consciously change it. And then find the ways that you are alike, instead of focusing on the ways you are different. It's a habit that can be developed, and now is a perfect time to do so. That's one of the tools of the higher vibrations for the new planet Earth. Another tool, of course, is your triad. Some months ago we asked you to work with a triad, to find 2 or 3 other people to connect with energetically. Sometimes you'll be able to connect with them physically, yet that is not critical. They are not there to give you energy but rather to help you hold your own. So, dare to honestly look at yourself through their eyes. Try to connect with your triad energetically over the next several months. Reach out to hold their hands. Amplify your energetics as you step into the world, moving through the illusion of time-space on planet Earth. And if you haven't already found yours, now is a great time to create your triad of support. The triad is a very profound way of doing things because almost everything on your side of the veil is divisible by 3. How it began. Going forward, you will see some changes in the way that we present our messages. 25 years ago, when the Keeper first started channeling, as he calls it, we came to him. He was in a group of people talking online in a chat room, communicating with other people that were learning to channel. And like the others, he asked to start receiving a channel. In the beginning, he only felt the energy and it brought him to tears. He would sit at his keyboard waiting for that material to come through. Sometimes he waited a very long time. We were there, it just took him a while to adjust to us. Finally, the information started coming in and he asked some very specific questions which he wanted to know. He wanted to know our names, what dimension we were from and how many of us there were. He was aware we were a group of entities, but that was not enough. He asked us who we were, but we said we'd rather not speak of that because it was not important. We asked him to evaluate the messages without labels. They'd say they were channeling 𝐕𝐈 of the 23rd dimension. It seemed that all the other spirits his friends were channeling had different levels of vibration that they were able to quantify, yet he had nothing. Then a few days later he came back and said, "Knock knock, are you still there?" We answered, "We have been with you for many lifetimes, dear one, and we would never leave you. We are always here if you choose to listen." Then he asked, "If you won't tell me what your names are and who you are, tell me why you won't tell me." We answered with a simple phrase, "We want you to take this information for the love content of the information, and not because of labels that are placed upon it. Our messages require a bit of faith." We know that was difficult because his friends loved the labels. Finally, he agreed and the messages began. We had already told him that we were a gathering of 9 entities channeling together as one. Actually, he was the 9th entity, so there are 8 of us and 1 of him. He started channeling and putting out this information. Then someone came back to him and asked, "What does your group say about this or that?" That is where the name the group came from. Some 8 years ago, we started coming through as individual personalities. The Keeper of Time, M, and Elra, who makes you smile with his rhythms. Merlia, who is the female aspect of Merlin, and the Scientist of the Heart, who brings in the science of it. And then finally there's the Observer, who oversees things from the other side of the veil. With all of these different attributes, he was able to focus a bit deeper in some of these areas. Earth has now changed. Dear ones, now the Earth has changed. We are taking this opportunity to return to unity, which is how we exist on this side of the veil. So, now we will approach you simply as the group of 9. Although we rarely use that name to identify ourselves, it is a name that humans understand. So, we are coming back together to bring you these messages of love. Now we once again ask, how much love can you carry? Timeline cross. We've also mentioned that there will be a timeline cross, as 𝐼𝐹 moves in your direction very quickly. Timeline crosses are very simple. You experience the illusion of linear time, for you see it as past, present and future. The past and future are a construct of the human mind, appearing as a line moving through time-space. Occasionally those lines cross each other, which creates huge differences in both timelines, and change happens overnight. But because it seems so natural, very few people actually notice what is happening. We've brought this to your attention on several occasions, and a rather long timeline cross is coming up. Timelines can cross at a 90-degree angle or even a 3-degree angle. When they cross at a smaller angle, they're actually overlapping each other for longer periods of time. And that's what is happening with this one. It begins on the 17th of December of this year and stretches through most of February, at least until the 26th of February in 2024. So, what can you do? Interestingly, 𝐼𝐹 is incredibly out of balance and having difficulties that are very similar to Earth's. Like on Earth, there are people who are in charge. But 𝐼𝐹 is dominated by feminine energy, whereas Earth has been mostly dominated by male energy. The Earth herself has arranged this cross, and she will benefit from it in many ways. Humanity will also benefit from the timeline cross, for it will anchor the feminine energy in your daily lives. Bring the energy through, encourage and work with it to anchor that light in any way you can. It's a huge opportunity, dear ones. We ask you to come back together in any way you can. Does it mean that everyone must agree when you're holding hands in the light? No, simply focus on the ways you are alike rather than focusing on the ways you are separate. You will change this world very quickly. You are at a tipping point, but it can go in either direction. And yes, we tell you that 2024 may be a little difficult. What happens after that? Well, we'll have to wait and see because there's a lot up in the air. We cannot predict further than that because it's up to you, not us. We're observers trying to share with you a little bit of what is coming and how you can anchor that energy. We do not ask you to give your power to us, dear ones. We want you to hold your power and use it yourself. There are many belief systems on planet Earth. However, the challenge is that each one is simply system. If you believe one aspect of it, then you are required to believe its other aspects. Keep in mind that we call belief systems BS, and we are not trying to create a new belief system for you to follow. What we are here to do is to help you awaken from the dream. You are the greatest angels that have ever lived, to take and hold your power individually but also as a collective. These are great times on planet Earth, dear ones. Your space has been reserved to be here at exactly this moment. Celebrate it, enjoy the journey. Yes, of course, because you're on a planet that has been based in duality for a long time. Work with that and you'll change not only your life, but you'll change the world. That's why you're here. It is with the greatest of honor that we address you as this collective of light. We love you more than you can possibly know, and we will remind you often of who you truly are. As you walk with the earth shifting beneath your feet, please remember to treat each other with the highest of respect, nurture one another and play well together. Espavo, dear ones. The Group of 9. Channel, Steve Roeder.